Hello, my name is Haley Cotty and I'm with Explore More. And today we are here for our How to Lead a Cleanup workshop. So we're really wanting to focus on simple steps for a big impact. And my goal is to equip you guys to confidently plan, promote, and lead your own cleanup events while also practicing leave no trace principles and safe group leadership. So just a disclaimer. Please, none of this should be reproduced, and I would love to dedicate this to my mom and my grandparents for raising me to leave a positive impact on the world from a young age, even in small actions like picking up trash on the side of the road. Growing up, my grandparents went on a walk every single morning, and they always brought trash bags and picked up trash, and my mom did the same with us, and I'm doing the same with my kids. So I hope to empower you guys to do the same. You see trash, I see purpose. While picking up trash off the side of the road or off a trail may seem minor, it really does make a big impact and has a ripple effect. And I really think it kind of helps shift our heart as well as leave an impact on these spaces that we love. So I often get questions all the time on how to lead cleanup hikes, how to make a difference. People will go hiking and be like, this trail is trashed. What do we do? I want to do something. And so I really just want to help you guys see that even just small things can make a big difference. But just a little intro for me. We did start Explore More a couple of years ago with the goal of getting people outside to find fun and freedom in nature. I really believe that if you can get people to fall in love with nature in the first place, they're more likely to care and to want to make a difference. But if you start out with telling people what to do, what not to do, picking up trash when they've never even gone outside to begin with, or have never even explored the trails that are in your town, it's a lot harder to get them to care. So just a little bit intro on me. We will watch this video.
I grew up in the country, so I grew up exploring the woods behind our house, riding horses at my grandpa's, like following the creek. I literally could go over the creek and follow the creek to my grandma's house. So I would go over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house. And so I just grew up doing that. But I also had this like deep desire as a kid to just explore the wilderness. We were living in Rockwall outside of Dallas for about 5 years, and we lived right on a lake. And CJ's brother was in town, and he's like, let's go kayaking. And I looked at CJ and I was like, we have lived on a lake for 5 years, and we've never gone kayaking. Like, why are we calling ourselves outdoors people if we're living right next to a huge trail and a lake and we're not utilizing it, and all we're doing is focusing on when we can go to Colorado again? So, I mean, we still go to Colorado a lot, but at the same time, we were thinking about how we needed to explore more of what was available. So I'm the founder of Explore More DFW, and we lead outdoor trips all over Dallas. Yes, we are looking to expand all over, obviously the United States. I have contacts in different areas, so obviously there's places that would be easier to expand to. So I think the problem that Explore More solves is people spend the majority of their life indoors. They don't spend time outside. They're constantly looking for their next vacation, their next adventure, which I am all for big adventures, but at the same time, your backyard is bigger than you think. So at a risk of not sounding too scientific, because we're about having fun and exploring, I'm not a medical professional or psychological professional or anything like that, but there's so many studies out there that show that being outside is so good for your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. I mean, there's studies that show people in hospitals who have windows facing trees recover faster than people who don't have windows. Kids who are outside more often have better balance, they're happier, they're more healthy. And that goes for adults too. It's more than just getting your vitamin D. But our most popular hike is a hike, yoga, and brew. So we'll all meet people can register. We'll meet at a trailhead. We'll meet up. We'll do a short little yoga practice outside, like right there at the trailhead, about 20, 30 minutes. I know yoga can be intimidating to some people. I get a lot of people, I'm just not a yoga person. I'm like, well, we stand there, do a couple poses for about 20 minutes, and then we start hiking. Like, this is not your typical yoga class. But I also think it's really good for people, especially in today's world, especially after COVID, to just slow down. But we'll just do some yoga, some outdoor meditation, and then we will just start hiking. And we'll hike for about 3 miles. We may stop a couple times in the hike and do some mindfulness practice or just talk, or if we see something really cool, we'll stop and talk about it. And then when we get back, we will kind of all reconvene, and then I'll tell people the brewery is about 5 minutes down the road. If you want to go hang out for a little bit longer, you're more than welcome, or you can save your beer token and use it later. More often than not, everybody goes to the brewery. I love seeing people on the hikes meeting and building relationships, building community, that people who wouldn't have otherwise met. And we just get people from all walks of life, all ages, all family dynamics. Everybody is welcome. And Explore More also it means more than just going outside. Like, we want people to explore more outside of their social circle. Like, the world is so much bigger than your social circle. So building your opinions on the world based on the few people that you interact with is just so close-minded. And so we also want people to meet other people and meet people that are different than them and just explore more of their mindset on the world. So you can find out more about Explore More at exploremoredfw.com or on Facebook or Instagram at Explore More DFW. Every person should spend 10 minutes outside, but if you're too busy, you should spend an hour.
Okay,
I grew up in the
Hopefully
country,
we get to
so
see
I
you on a
grew
hiking
up
yoga soon.
exploring
But
the
today
woods.
we are talking about cleanup hikes, which we do plenty of those as well. And if you've ever been on any of our hike and yogas, you know that we bring trash bags on every single hike we do. Whether it's a hike and yoga or a cleanup hike or a trail game, we always have trash bags with us just to encourage people to leave a difference. I don't know if you've ever heard of the dirty dishes theory, but it seems like if there's a dirty dish in the sink is a lot more likely to fill up almost immediately. But if the sink is empty and all the dirty dishes are put in the dishwasher, whenever you have a dirty dish, you're more likely to rinse it out and put it in the dishwasher, not just leave it in the sink. I really think that about trash too. If we pick up trash on the side of the trail instead of just leaving it, where people are less likely to leave more. So why cleanup events matter? Stewardship builds community. When you get people together working towards a common goal, you build a stronger community. It also creates a sense of personal responsibility for these green spaces that we all enjoy. So it's a lot easier to feel responsible for the green spaces in your own backyard, in your own neighborhood, whenever you visit them often and whenever you pick up trash that's there. And when you feel more responsible for it, you're more likely to take care of it. When we start noticing the trash around us, we start noticing when we use it at home, and we start noticing whenever it blows out of our car for those of us with little kids. And you're naturally going to start decreasing your amount of use of single-use plastics and of trash. And you're going to start being more sustainable and more economical with your trash use at home. It takes the focus off of ourselves and onto society as a whole and our impact on society and on the world. Our world is so self-focused, which has its good parts, but for the most part, like, we are a selfish society. That's just reality. But when you get people outside serving others, it takes our focus off of ourselves and onto others and onto our impact on others. Even for something as small as the little corner of the fruit pouch blowing out of your car and into the storm drain and then finding it later on the trail. Trash also is harmful to the ecosystem. It's harmful to animals and other humans, and it's harmful to the soil and the trees and everything. And a visible impact also creates motivation. So when you're outside and you see a bunch of trash and you're able to pick it up together and leave the place looking more beautiful, it births more motivation. And as far as trash harming the ecosystem, I recently had a conversation with someone about biodegradable trash. And they're like, well, why can't I throw a banana peel out my window? Why can't I drop my apple core on the side of the trail? And they were actually surprised to learn that it actually takes up to 2 years, sometimes longer, for this food to biodegrade. It doesn't biodegrade in a month. And the reality is it's going to attract animals to the trail or to the road before it's going to biodegrade. So not only does it look gross, like, let's just be real, no one wants to see food scraps on the side of the trail or even on the side of the road, but it's going to attract animals to places that are frequented by humans or cars. And a fed animal is a dead animal, if you've ever heard that. So when animals eat human food, it, one, makes them sick, two, changes their behavior, and three, especially if you're throwing it out your car window, it attracts them to roads, which creates roadkill. Animals that eat human food are statistically proven to die earlier. So just don't do it. Just pack your food trash home or throw it away or eat it all. Either way, but don't throw it out. It doesn't biodegrade. It hurts the animals. It hurts the planet. So just don't do it. So let's talk about the admin part of starting an event or hosting your own event. So the first thing you want to do is pick a place. I highly recommend picking a location that is close to home, that you feel comfortable with, that you frequent often, and that you're familiar with. And you may know. So for us, like we have a park near our house that our kids love, and it has a flood zone area that is often full of trash. And so I every winter want to host a cleanup there because once everything kind of dies away and they mow all the grass down, there's all this trash underneath. And so we often will host a cleanup there, or we'll host a cleanup on the nature trail behind our neighborhood. You don't have to go to a state park. Like you can do something close to home. Playgrounds, parks, local nature trails, neighborhood walks. Those are all great spots. Here in Texas, a lot of our trails are built on flood zones because nothing else can be built there. And so a lot of trash will accumulate in these trails because it all washes in from roads and neighborhoods. It's not just dropped by bikers and hikers and people, although that happens, but a lot of the times it's washed in from our neighborhoods and roads. So just keep that in mind. And if you have a spot that's particularly bad, consider hosting a hike there. We have a trail, and I know along the creeks are where all the trash is because it all washes down the river. If you don't know, contact your Parks and Rec department and see if they have a spot that really needs some work. And they often will also provide you with supplies. And then pick a time. I've done cleanup hikes during the week because I work from home, and so sometimes weekdays are better for me. I don't have as many people show up, but whatever works for you, do that time. And if not very many people show up, that's okay. But you'd be surprised that there are people out there who have the same schedule as you. I also strongly recommend winter and dry times of year, because when everything kind of dies away and it's easier to get to a lot of the trash. In the summer, it's harder, or in the spring, it's harder because it's muddy or there's a lot of growth. In the summer here in Texas, there's more risk of snakes, there's more bugs. People aren't willing to go dig through the brush. And honestly, you don't really want them to go dig through the brush. So I like to do a lot of my cleanup events in the winter when everything is dead and mowed back. And you can really get to some of those hard to reach spots. You also want to check for permissions. So depending on where you're going, make sure you have permission. So some of our trails will close, especially after like storms, because like I said, they're in floodplains. And so if it's rained and the trail is muddy, the trail will often be closed. And you want to respect that because there is a reason why they close the trails. You also want to contact your Parks and Rec department and make sure it's okay, because you might be surprised. Sometimes with liability and stuff, they don't want a bunch of people out there, or they want you to sign a certain waiver or whatever. So depending on where you're going to go, make sure you have permission. Contact the managing body of the park, whether it's the Parks and Rec department, an organization like Dorba, or state parks, or maybe an HOA if it's a nature trail behind an HOA, and just let them know what you want to do. A lot of the times, they're more often than not, they're willing to help you. So just get as many partners as you can. You'll get more people. Collaborate with your Parks and Rec department, collaborate with your HOA, contact local businesses. You might be surprised. And then as far as gathering supplies, you want to make sure you have large contractor bags as well as possibly as small bags. I like to bring Walmart and Kroger bags and fill them up and tie them and then put them in the contractor bags to keep things from flying out. And they're easier to carry around than trying to carry around those big contractor bags. Although I did one cleanup with a city, and they provided a lot of stuff, and they gave me these big cool things that help keep the contractor bags open. So those were awesome. So if you have stuff like that, go for it. If you just contact your city, they probably have it and they'll just give it to you for free. Trash grabbers are really great to get to hard to reach places or to pick up things that you may not want to touch, like glass or cigarette butts. Gloves. I personally don't like wearing gloves. I'd rather just use the trash grabbers, but it's always good to have. Hand sanitizer, water, snacks, first aid kit, and waivers. If you don't have a waiver, you can just get a basic one online, or you can contact your Parks and Rec department, and they probably already have a waiver that they will let you use. And then you want to list your event online. So this is where it gets fun, and this is where I get probably the most questions is, how do I list the event? How do I promote it to people? How do I contact people and communicate with those who sign up? How do I get information out? How do you do weather contingencies, things like that? So hosting a successful event starts way before the actual event itself. As far as listing, you could do something as simple as just creating a Facebook event. You don't have to have a platform. The only problem with Facebook events is you can't really track who has signed up and who's planning on coming. So it's kind of more of a hit or miss. You just show up and hope people show up. If you post something on like Eventbrite or the Explore More app, which I'll talk about in a minute, Or if you use the City Parks and Rec and they post it on their website, or you use something like Meetup, people can sign up for the event and then you have their emails, phone numbers, things like that. So you can communicate with people who've signed up. That's what I recommend. Or if you are working through an organization, a lot of times they will have listing options on their website that will help collect communication, not for marketing issues, but just to be able to communicate with them because things happen. Sometimes you have to delay, or sometimes if you're doing a trail work day, not just a cleanup, and you need a chainsaw, or it's storming and you need to reschedule to the next day or whatever, you need to be able to communicate with those people. And just posting to the world on Facebook is not going to get people's attention. So you want a way for people to sign up. You want to give them, and they're free, so people are going to sign up and not show up, and that's okay. But you want people to commit. You want people to say, I am going to be there. I am committing to help out. So any of those platforms, I really recommend doing something like Eventbrite and the Explore More app. And those are really great ways to collect information to be able to communicate with people. As far as the description, when you post the event, you want to have a clear, lengthy description. ChatGPT is really helpful for this these days, but you don't want it to be super long, but you want it to be clear. You want to explain exactly what you're going to be doing, where you're going to be, what part of the trail you're going to have, or you're going to hit. Are you doing cleanup? Are you doing work day? Are you going to be using chainsaws? Are you just picking up trash? Are you going to be removing invasive species? Like what exactly are you going to be doing? And if you need help, go find work days that are already happening. A lot of these nature preserves and stuff have monthly work days. Go see what their description says and what it includes. Do people need to bring anything? Do they need to bring their own trash grabbers, or will you have some? Do they need to bring their own trash bags, or do you have some? You want to have all that information, and you also want to have expectations for how long they're going to be there and any contingencies such as weather or whatever schedule changes may happen. And you also want to share everywhere and often. So I recommend Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. You can post in Facebook groups, but don't depend on them because they can be picky. Most Facebook groups these days have to approve posts, and most of that is volunteer, so they don't always get approved in a timely manner. So just let go of the Facebook groups. Don't depend on them. You can use them, but don't depend on them. Reach out to local schools, local scouting groups, hiking groups, things like that. If you can get in with groups, they will often bring a whole group of volunteers with them. They will also post about it for you. So it kind of helps get it out there in front of people. Call your city and let them know what you're doing. And they can post on it on the city website. They will also post it on their city platforms. Any partners you can have to help promote it and to help bring volunteers is great. So share everywhere, share often. And you also want to communicate often with people who sign up. So when you see people sign up, reach out to them, especially if they're new and you don't know who they are, and just make sure they know where to go. Some of these trails, sometimes maps don't always take you to the right spot. So if you are going to a place that, I have a couple of trails that we've led events on that are notorious for when people put it into Apple Maps or Google Maps, it sends them to a random spot. So be aware of that and just let people know, maybe send them a screenshot, be like, you are going here to this parking lot. And so they know where to meet. And just make sure you communicate often, and you also send reminders because people will sign up for things, especially free things, and then totally forget about it. So send reminders. I usually send a reminder a couple of days in advance and then the day before. If you use something like Eventbrite, it automatically sends reminders, but you can also just use a basic sign up page like a Google form, and then just make a Google event and just invite people to the Google event as they register. There's different ways to do it. But if you want something simple, Eventbrite and Explore More are the best options, I think. Partner with local businesses and groups. And people are also always looking for volunteer hours. So if you call your city, you can see, because they may know groups, they may know of scouting groups or school groups that need volunteer hours that you don't know about, and they can reach out to them. But high schools, sports, middle schools, churches, they always need volunteer hours. So contact them, let them know about your event. They may send some people over. After the event, make sure you send a follow-up communications, whether you've collected emails or phone numbers. Make sure you send a follow-up like, thank you for showing up. Thank you for joining us. Here's some group photos if you took any photos. It's always good to have someone there who is responsible for photos because that helps promote other future events as well. But send them anything. If y'all had any conversations, if someone found an exceptional piece of trash, you can put all that in the follow-up email as well. Just make it kind of fun and community-oriented. As far as for the event flow, so on the day of the event, you want to send a reminder the night before, and depending on what time, if it's like mid-morning, you could send a reminder the morning of as well. But as far as the event flow, once everybody is kind of gathered, or you think the majority of people are there, and I know since it's a free event, not everybody who signs up is going to show up, and that's okay. Don't take that personally. You want to gather everybody together and do your welcome. Thank everybody for showing up. Thank any sponsors that may have been partnered with you, whether you've partnered with Explore More or your city or HOA, maybe if someone donated supplies, or if you want to contact local coffee shops or restaurants. A lot of the times those places will provide coffee or snacks. If you're doing an afternoon, you can contact a brewery if there's one close by, or like pizza shop. Like a lot of those places, they want to help. So they will be more than happy to donate coffee or to help donate supplies, or just help post about it. Contact any businesses that are close to that trail who want to be more community minded. You might be surprised. So thank everybody for showing up. Thank any sponsors. Do your introductions. Introduce yourself. If you're with an organization, introduce the organization you're with, and then let everybody else kind of introduce themselves. Give everybody a chance to say who they are, how they found the event, why they're there, and then maybe even do a game. There's a couple of different get to know you games, depending on if you like that or not, that you can do, or just like a random fact, something like that. I always like to have a Leave No Trace intro as well. If you are not familiar with Leave No Trace, we'll talk about that in a bit. And I will also send some links that you can learn a little bit more. But Leave No Trace is the Center of Outdoor Ethics and the leading organization for taking care of the planet through science and research and cleanup events and restoration projects like this. So I highly recommend telling people about Leave No Trace, then having a safety talk. So depending on where you are, just making sure you give people the intro to like, hey, we're going to be near a river. Or if it's summer, hey, keep an eye out for snakes. There's going to be bikers here. So keep an eye out, get out of people's way if people are coming by. Don't pick up anything sharp, like just basic safety talk. And it may vary based on where you are, but just make sure people are not dumb. Like you want to, you can go off trail for a cleanup, but don't get lost. Don't fall in a creek. Don't get bit by something. Don't get ran over by a bike because you weren't paying attention. Just be smart. Also, you can encourage people to download the Explore More app. We have a Leave No Trace card and a trash card. So the trash card is really fun, like finding unique pieces of trash. So that might be a fun way to get people engaged as well. So there's lots of fun ways to get people engaged, whether you use the Explore More app, or you can even have your own trash prizes, like whoever gets the nastiest trash or whoever gets the most trash, whoever gets the heaviest piece of trash. I did one time where whoever got the most trash got an extra beer token to the local brewery. And I had these two girls crawl down into the creek and carry a car bumper half a mile out of the trail. So they definitely won. So you can, and it's so funny because they would never have done that if I didn't offer them a $5 beer. So make it fun. And if you have partners, they will often donate gift cards or something for things like that. So make it fun, get them excited, get them looking for things. Maybe if you know, like there's a place that has a ton of water bottles, be like, who gets the most water bottle? Whoever gets the most plastic water bottles and puts them in a separate bag for recycling wins a prize. There's lots of fun ways to do it. And then split everybody up into teams. If you have a big group, if you have a small group, stay together. Make sure everyone feels OSV. OSV means oriented, safe, and valued. So make sure people know, like they know what to expect. They know where they're going. Like if they've never been to the trail before, make sure that they have a team leader and they know to stay with that team leader at all times. And you want to give them an area to focus on. So you don't want people to just start wandering around. You want to give them a spot to focus on and tell them to stay in that area and to stay with their team leader. Team leaders should also always be familiar with the trail. And team leaders are also responsible for keeping their people together. If you have a smaller group, this is all just one team. If you have a bigger group, split them up into groups of 5 or 6 and put them in different spots. And make sure they feel safe and make sure they feel valued, that their contribution matters to you. And make sure everybody knows where they're going and they know what time to get back. So, and you want to make sure you have a set time to where we're going to stay out and then we're going to meet back here at whatever time. And then you as the leader can always kind of bounce around between teams if you have multiple teams just to check up on everybody. Then pick up all the trash. And after you're done, meet back up, debrief, thank everybody again, thank any sponsors, and then release. I've also been to different events where they will have chants and stuff that they will chant while hiking and while picking up trash. So you can kind of make it your own thing. And again, you don't have to do a cleanup hike to be doing this. You don't have to be doing a work day to be doing this. You could be out on a group hike with a group and just bring trash bags with you and pick up trash while you're hiking. You don't have to be going into the trees, but there will be trash along the trail. Share stories, have people share maybe the coolest thing they saw or the coolest thing they found. And if you have snacks and drinks, let them do that. Let them communicate, or not communicate, let them get to know each other. And if you have a local restaurant that donated anything, maybe offer for people to go hang out afterwards. If you're doing a mid-morning cleanup and you're done at lunch, go get lunch afterwards and just get to hang out and actually spend time together. Now, as far as safety, these are some of the things that we recommend you focus on. Make sure you have plenty of hydration. Tell people to bring water, but also have extra water. Sun and bug protection. Depending on what time of year you're going to be out, make sure you have bug protection. Always have sun protection, even if it's in the winter, even if the trail is shaded. Use gloves and trash grabbers. Do not pick up sharp things or gross things. I know most of it's gross, but use the gloves and trash grabbers. You don't need to be cut. Nobody needs to get cut. Nobody needs to gag. So just be mindful with that. Look out for hikers and bikers and get out of the way. So especially if you're on a multi-use trail, tell people to keep their eyes up. I know they're going to be looking at the ground, looking for trash, but keep their eyes up, look for people, and get out of the way when you do see people. And then look out for critters and give them space. This is also why I recommend doing this in the winter, because there's fewer critters. You're not going to run into a snake. You're not going to run into anything. And like spring, you're not going to run into animals that might be having babies or young ones. So winter is easier, but if you're not in the winter, if it is spring or summer or even fall, just tell people, keep an eye out for critters and give them space. Use the thumb rule. The thumb rule is if you close one eye and hold up your thumb should be able to cover the entire animal. If it's not, you're too close and you need to back up. Keep an eye out for thorns and bushes and don't get stuck in a bunch of brambles. And sometimes there's trash that if you can't reach it with the trash grabber and you can't get to it safely, it's not worth it. Don't hurt yourself trying to get trash. Stay away from steep drop-offs, water, and roads. So especially if you're on a trail that's near a road, don't get too close to the road. Don't be silly. Stay away from cars. Keep your eyes open. Keep looking up, and stay out of the way of danger. And just be smart. It's pretty easy. Leave no trace. Principle number 7 is be considerate of others. So this goes back to the hikers and bikers. Just don't clog the trail. Keep an eye out. If people are biking through, yes, they're going to be thankful that you're picking up trash, but if they have to stop because there's 4 people bent over picking stuff up off the trail, they're going to get frustrated.
Hi, I'm Haley with Explore More, and today we're going to talk about Leave No Trace. Leave No Trace is the Center for Outdoor Ethics, and they are leading the way in conservation in the outdoors. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned adventurer, you can use the 7 principles of Leave No Trace to sustainably enjoy your own backyard or the backcountry. Principle 1 of Leave No Trace is plan ahead and prepare. It's really important to know the regulations of the area you're going to visit and know your route. Bring a map, bring a compass, and be prepared for all weather types. Principle 2 of Leave No Trace is travel and camp on durable surfaces. It's really important to stay on the trail to avoid creating social trails. And whenever camping, you want to keep your campsite small to minimize the impact. And when camping in pristine areas, you want to keep your campsite small and disguise it after you leave to keep other campers from camping in the same spot. Principle number 3 of Leave No Trace is dispose of waste properly. You want to pack out everything you bring in and not leave any trash behind. And then when it comes to human waste, you want to dig a cat hole that is 6 inches deep and 6 inches wide when you have to go. Number 2. And then also make sure you go back to plan ahead and prepare, because some places require you to pack out your human waste as well. Principle number 4 of Leave No Trace is leave what you find. You want to preserve the past, and you don't want to be the person who is going to alter or damage cultural or historical artifacts. It's also important to leave the natural area the way it was. So don't take rocks, plants, antlers, or anything like that, and don't build structures or dig trenches. You just want to enjoy and leave it how you found it. Principle 5 of Leave No Trace is minimize campfire impact. The first thing you want to do with campfires is make sure you know if they're even allowed, because some places do not allow campfires and you will need to bring a stove. If you do a campfire, you want to make sure you minimize the impact by using a fire ring and keeping the fire small. And then wait and make sure it burns out completely to ash, and then once it is cool, scatter the ashes and disguise the campfire if you are in a pristine place. Principle 6 of Leave No Trace is respect wildlife. You don't want to follow, approach, or touch animals, and you certainly do not want to feed them. That makes animals aggressive and can make them sick. A good principle for respecting wildlife is the thumb theory. You want to hold your hand up with the thumb, and you should be able to close one eye and cover the animal with your thumb. And that can let you know if you're too close. Principle 7 of Leave No Trace is be considerate of other visitors. You want to respect and protect their experience in the outdoors. So yield to other visitors, take breaks in camp off the trail, and let nature sounds prevail. So avoid loud noises and music. If you do want to listen to music, be sure to wear headphones. So get out there and explore your own backyard. And to learn more about Leave No Trace, check out lnt.org. Hi, I'm Haley with Explore More, and today we're going to talk about
Leave No Trace is a great organization. I highly recommend checking out their website. They have their 101 intro course is completely free online. You can do it in about 45 minutes to an hour. It's just the LNT 101. So you can find it at www.lnt.org. You can also read more about them. We have a Leave No Trace bingo card on the Explore More app, so you can learn more about each of the principles there as well. And they also have cool little educational cards that you can buy on their website for 25 cents a piece. And I love having those to hand out to people at events. And they also have more principles so that was the basic outdoor ethics, but they have them specific to different activities as well. So if you like mountain biking, they have a mountain biking specific Leave No Trace card. They have a hunting specific, they have foraging specific. And so they really try to say, like, you can do whatever outdoor recreation you want, but here's how you do it sustainably. And here's how you take care of the environment in the process. So the ones we specifically want to highlight for these kinds of events is principle 1, plan ahead and prepare, which we were talking about earlier, making sure you plan your event and you are prepared for it. You have your bags, you have your grabbers, you have your waivers, all that good stuff. Principle number 3, dispose of waste properly. If you are able to recycle and you are able to split your trash up, do that. But the reality is we want to get it off the trail regardless. So if you can't recycle, just take it all out. But if you're able to recycle and have like a bag for water bottles, a bag for cans, and a bag for trash, you can do that as well. But do whatever you have access to. And what you have is great. And so do the best with what you can't have. Principle 6, respect wildlife, like we spoke about. If you see critters, give them space. Try not to disturb things that like dens or homes that are very obviously an animal's home, whether they are there or not. Try not to disturb it. Try to give it space. Principle 7, be considerate of others. Again, don't clog the trail, especially if you're doing a cleanup on a weekend and it's crowded and you know there's going to be a lot of people there. Sometimes if I do a cleanup on the weekend, I'll focus on bigger fields or like bigger areas where we can spread out and not necessarily be on the trail. And then once you're done, share and inspire. Take group photos and get permission to share the photos. You can include that in the waiver, but also ask people when you're in person. Make sure they're okay with you sharing them. And if they aren't, you can always do little stickers over people's faces. If people bring their kids, I always recommend putting stickers over people's kids' faces, whether they say yes or no, just because it's polite. Tag Explore More. I would love to see your cleanup hikes and any sponsors you may partner with, whether it's your cities or some organizations like Dorba or Hiker Babes. Like if you're with any organization or if you partner with any companies, if a coffee shop donates coffee, make sure you tag all of them and get them excited about being part of something. You can also tag Leave No Trace. They will share anything. They will also help support you in any way they can. So contact them as well if you'd like. And then encourage participants to host their own cleanup. If they had a lot of fun and they're like, oh, we have a trail or a park. My kids love this park, but it's trashed. Encourage them to do a cleanup on their own and maybe help them or send people their way or give them the contact of someone in the city who donated bags. Or if you have extra bags and grabbers, let them use them. And then remind people to download the Explore More app and do the Leave No Trace card and do the trash bingo card and make it fun. If there was anything on the trash bingo card that you didn't find, encourage people to try to find it later. And then always encourage people to take a Walmart bag or a Kroger bag with them anytime they're outside. Every time I walk my dog, I bring a Walmart bag and I pick up trash on the sidewalk in our neighborhood. Even if it's just a few pieces, it makes a difference. Thank you. So we are mostly done. If you ever need help with the cleanup or if you're planning your first cleanup, please reach out to me. I would love to help you. My email is support@exploremore.fun. I will share your event. I will send people your way. I will help you post it. I will help you get supplies. I will help any way I can. If you want to learn more about our other workshops, we also teach our nature yoga. We have our backpacking 101, our backyard guide, outdoor leader program. We have all these at exploремore.fun. You can use the code CLEANUP for 20% off any of our workshops. And feel free to share that code with people who come to your events. That's not a unique code that can't be shared. We want people to get outside. You can also share the link to this workshop. This recording will be posted online, as well as a PDF with some more information and links to things like Leave No Trace and cities and different cards that you can use on the Explore More app. And I will also link out to the 101 course that's online that's completely free. So can't wait to see the impact you guys make. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you'll have a great week.